Welcome to the network analysis. Today we are looking at superposition theorem. Superposition theorem is applied when there are two or more sources in a circuit. They can be AC sources or DC sources or combination of AC and DC sources. Whenever you have two or more sources, superposition theorem is helpful in linear circuits. Let's just start with an example that we have a mobile, and you know how many sources are there in this mobile? I think all of us know that there is a battery in that. That's a DC source. And also it receives a signal. A signal is a kind of AC source. And there is a superposition of these two. They superimpose at some points. And then we have to analyze and design these circuits. At that time, the superposition theorem is applicable. It is most basic theorem based on the superposition of charges. But we are not going into details, and we are going to see the technique and how to apply for a given circuit. Now, we'll start with an example, and I will try to give some kind of statement. The superposition theorem says that the current through any branch or voltage across any element in a given circuit will be the algebraic sum of all such currents and voltages that are independently produced by each source. The currents and voltages produced by each source independently, and you take the algebraic sum of all those such currents or voltages at a point of your interest, you will get the final result. This looks very abstract, so I will write some statements in next slide and then we'll apply it and you will know. First, consider each source at a time separately. Then replace all other sources by their internal resistance. Suppose I have 2 or 3 sources, so I consider source 1 source. What should I do with all other sources? I should replace all other sources by their internal resistances. If internal resistances are not given in a problem, then you assume that they are ideal sources. And you know what is the internal resistance of an ideal voltage source? It is 0. And an internal resistance of an ideal current source is infinite. So basically you will short circuit a voltage source and open circuit a current source. Then calculate I and V by considering each source at a time and then take the sum. Algebraic sum means you should be conscious about all the directions when you are considering each source and then sum them. Let us do some example here. We have two sources here. This is one source, this one source. The same problem we have solved by different techniques so that we can compare the results. Here now what I would say is that first I will consider this source. What do I mean by consider this source? This source I will short circuit because there is no internal resistance given here. I assume it's an ideal source. So I'll short circuit this and I'll keep this source. Similarly, when I consider this source, I'll short circuit this. Now we have divided problem into two half problems kind of thing. Now each circuit individually you can analyze. I think you can do because these two are in parallel and that is in series and you can calculate current. I am labeling I prime everywhere, I1 prime, I2 prime, I3 prime. So you can find the current division in each branch. This circuit I am labeling I double prime 1, 3, 2. See, this 1 is representing that they are corresponding to same branch. I prime is due to this source. I double prime is due to this source. So now if you want I here, this is the sum of I1. I1 is sum of I1 prime and I1 double prime. Since now these two are in same direction, their magnitudes will get added. Okay. Here also I took same direction. Here actually if you see the real direction is like this, but I took it so that here I can write plus. But actually the I3 will be a negative value. So it will be subtracted. For example, I3 prime and I2 prime, they get subtracted. I1 prime, I1 double prime, they get subtracted. I2 prime and I2 double prime, they will get added because both are coming in the same direction. So either I was telling from the beginning, you should keep direction same and be conscious about sign, or vice versa. Now you can check it with another examples. Now we have another um, circuit here. So I will consider each source at a time. Now first consider voltage source. So what should I do with current source? Current source has infinite internal resistance. So it will be just like open. Now that's a series circuit. See how simple it has become. Now that's a series again. So 20 plus 10, 30, 15 by 30, 0.5 milliampere system. Now I will consider this current source. So what should I do with voltage source? I should short circuit. And once now I short circuit this voltage source, it becomes a simple parallel circuit. This 1 ampere will divide I into R2 by R1 plus R2. So you can calculate and sum these two values. That's all. Applications are like one of the example I told you in mobile, we have AC and DC source, but in mobile like a very big example. But if you take a small part of mobile, small circuit, it can be an amplifier. This amplifier, you may not know now how it works and whether it is really linear. No, we will model it in a region where it is linear. We will apply superposition theorem. That we will learn later, but I just want to tell you its significance. Now you see there is a AC voltage source here, there is a DC source here. This will superimpose on that. How do we analyze? So we apply superposition theorem. When I apply superposition theorem, I will first consider only DC voltage. That means I'll short circuit this. And once DC is considered, you can also see other thing. When DC is considered, the capacitors block DC, right? So they are like open circuits. So all capacitors can be opened. So only small part of the circuit will remain with a DC source. When I consider AC source, for a real operating frequency, the capacitors behave like short circuits, so I can just short them. And if I short here, this resistance will go off and the battery will be grounded. Now you see. Now we will further analyze it when you learn the transistors, but I am just telling the application of superposition theorem. Then you will know what is the gain of the amplifier only by this method. Later you will have to model this transistor into some source and other things, which we'll learn later. So I suggest you to solve some problems again from same books, Wildstead and B.L. Thereja. You may try some problems from these books. Thank you very much.